Boom, it's the life we've chosen. Please jump on. I've been live already twice today, and you know, sometimes you have to do that. You have to go live several times to deal with certain issues as they come. Because, you know, we're dealing with social media, and in social media, things happen at lightning speed. I can remember a time, and I've shared this with you many, many times. In the 90s, in order for you to get the news, you had to wait a whole 24 hours. You had to wait to get up in the morning and then walk down the street, buy the newspaper. In those days, in 1990, leading up to the 1991 general elections, in those days, we only had, you know, very few sources of information. You know, and of course there was ZNBC, but in terms of newspapers, you had to wait. And once you bought the paper, it was only when you bought the Post newspaper in those days that you got a divergent view. You got a view other than what the government was saying. And people loved that, to be able to read a divergent view. And but of course, with the advent, with the coming of social media, all of that has changed. And that's one of the reasons the Post newspaper went under, aside from the fact that they were not tax compliant and all that jazz. The other reason was that social media sort of took over the way we know news feeds. And we consume news now at lightning speed, breakneck speed. You know, when something happens now, everybody knows about it in 10 minutes. It wasn't like that in the old days. In the old days, news didn't travel as fast. So because of that dynamic, I said all that to say this. There are certain things that are said on social media, and if you don't address them, they become malignant and they spread. Oftentimes people say things like, no, silence is golden. No, silence is not golden. When you have something to say, when you have a retort, when you have a reply, say it. You know, silence is not golden in every single solitary case. You know, and I often say to you, and I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, that gossip unchallenged becomes fact. I want you to say that with me. Type that in the comments. And please, while you're at it, share this live. Please say that. Just type that in the comments. Gossip unchallenged becomes fact. I'd like to read a couple of you say that. Just type that and post it in the comments below so that we can get our creative juices flowing and we move in that direction and we talk about this topic head on. There's some things I'm going to share with you that I think you will be very interested to know, because they're factual. You know, I do not try to deceive you in any way. At least that's not my motive. You know, if I get a few facts incorrect here and there, that's different from deliberate deception, okay? And I've never tried to do that. And anytime I sort of veered into those waters, you know, I've tried to take responsibility for that. But today, I want to, you know, share this with you. So please, in the comments below, I'd like to read a couple of you say that. Just repeat after me. Gossip, unchallenged, becomes fact. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, Heather. Thank you, Heather Sue. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into it. Guys, as many of you know, and for those of you that are newbies, for those of you that are not aware of the story, I have to explain the story to you. If you just give me 3 minutes, I'll do it. I'll condense the story. You will not understand what I'm talking about if I don't sort of give you the rundown of the story. I need to give you a brief. And here's the story. Some time ago, a social media personality by the name of Elias Musyani posted on his Facebook page that he was going to hire a gang of men to gang rape kiddists and kidnap their child. And of course, Kiddist and her husband became very concerned about this, so they even pulled their child out of school because of that. And Yomaps eventually had to hire extra security to guard their home because, they were concerned about these threats, as would anybody. You, me, and everybody else. If anybody threatens you in that way and you have the means to up your security or to up the ante on your security, you'll do it, because you want to protect your family and your children. And anybody would remove their child out of school if somebody posts that they're going to kidnap your child. That's not a joke. There's nothing about that that's funny. Anyway, this guy, Elias Musyani, this misfit, social misfit, he posted this, and Kiddist and her husband, Yomaps, took it upon themselves to sue him for that. And so they're in court right now for that. Kiddist and Yomaps sued Musyani because Musyani posted that he was going to gang rape Kiddist and that he was going to kidnap their child. And Zikta testified in this case that these posts were authentically generated from Elias Musyani's page. Zikta testified to that fact. I mean, that's what they said in court. Now, the last time I went to court to cover this story, I went there because you must understand, SML TV is an online news channel. That's the reason it's called SML TV. Anybody, you, me, anybody in this new dispensation, in this new digital era, you don't have to be a big corporation to start an online channel. You can, right now, in the comfort of your home, you can start your own channel. You can start creating content that will appeal to your audience. Of course, my advice would be create content that is authentic, that is accurate as accurate as possible, and content that doesn't, that's not false. Because especially in this dispensation now, if you post false things, people can take you to court and they will make you dance. They will. So my point in saying that is that SML TV is an online channel. And so when I go to court, when I went to court to cover this Kiddist versus Musyani case, I went there as an online station to bring you the news as I see it, so that you can consume it from my point of view, as I witness it, as I see it. I get amused. It really shocks me. And this really speaks to the dullness of many Zambians. It's a thing, some Zambians are just so dull. They'll say things like, but why are you there? Why did you go there? SML TV. It's an online channel. It brings you news. If I cover a story in Chilufya, I'm covering it so that you can consume it from my point of view as an online news channel. No, but why did you go there? Why are you involving yourself? SML TV. It's an online channel. I give you the news based on the way I see it so that you can consume it from my point of view as I see it. No, but Mr. Mwewa, don't you have other things to do? SML TV. I'm a news channel. Hey, Stacy B. I see you. Sorry, I got a call. Somebody called me. Please tell me in the comments if you can still hear me. And that happens sometimes. Just tell me in the comments, please. I'll edit all this in post. I just want to get back online. So I'm waiting for you to tell me you can hear me so that I can continue. Loud and clear. Thank you. So what happened was the last time that Kiddist, Yomaps, and this Elias Musyani appeared in court, I went there and I covered what I saw. One of the things that was notable that I gave to you in real time was that the information came out that Elias Musyani was originally being represented by a different team from legal aid, and that team withdrew from representing him. And so they had to get a different team, a brand new team, from legal aid to represent Musyani. That is factual. That happened. And I posted that in real time as I was sitting right there in the courtroom. That information came to, not just to me, came to everybody, all the journalists from Crown TV, there was mwewa there was so many others. Everybody, we were told that Musyani's original team from legal aid had pulled out, they had withdrawn, and that now he had a new team. And I posted that. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's what happened. It's factual, okay? Now, in the courtroom, the media was cautioned, generally cautioned. There's a story on one of these fake news channels that's posting and publishing lies that the magistrate singled me out and said, Mr. Mwewa, you are posting erroneous things. That's not true. That never happened. The magistrate cautioned all the media houses. And the truth is this. The magistrate said, be careful how you post information. Kiddist relationship or perceived relationship with this Musyani is not what is on trial. Kiddist's association with Musyani is not what is on trial. And in any case, there's no relationship there. There was no intimate relationship between Kiddist and Musyani. These are things that Musyani's lawyers are simply trying to use to deviate and to divert the line of the case. So the magistrate was basically saying, be factual when you report. What is being brought to trial is threatening violence. That's the charge. The charge is not, was Kiddist at some point associated with the Elias? That's not the charge. That's not on the charge sheet. So what the magistrate was saying in general terms to everybody, to all the media houses, was when you are reporting this matter, do not place Kiddist on trial in the public media because she's not on trial. Her perceived association with Musyani is not what is on trial. What is on trial is the charge of threatening violence. Full stop. Nothing else. And I can tell you, no matter how much you showboat, no matter how much people talk about this, that, and the other, at the end of the day, when the dust settles and when the dew dries, the only thing that will be standing is, did Elias Musyani threaten violence against Kiddist? That's all. If that is established, if and when that is established, then that is his Waterloo. The court will do the needful. What is not going to be discussed is whether or not Kiddist had some type of association with Elias, which she didn't. But that is neither here nor there. The issue is, did Musyani issue violence? Did he threaten Kiddist? If and when that is determined in a court of law, that is all that matters. Nothing else matters. Understand that. Because in Zambia, you have to be taught. Okay? You have to be guided. If you are not guided, you'll be lost in the woods. So let me explain now, because Elias Musyani does have surrogates. Notably, Chilufya Tayali, this exiled fugitive from the law. Chilufya Tayali, as you know, is no longer in Zambia. He's in exile, claiming political asylum, claiming political persecution, which is not true. Everything that he's going through is a direct result of his own foolishness, his own carelessness. When you begin to talk about the armed forces of Zambia and you attach lies to them and you alarm the nation, of course you're going to get in trouble, regardless of who you are. Chilufya Tayali. Oh, before I talk about him, let me just very quickly mention something else. The story online, the other thing that was said about me in this false posting of me was that I said, I'm going to use my connections to have Musyani jailed. First of all, I have no connections. If I did, I wouldn't have gone to jail for 6 days. You remember that? You remember I went to jail for 6 days? Do you remember that? Do people that have connections, do they go to jail for 6 days? No, I don't have connections. I'm a person just like you. I am subject to the same conditions that you are subject to. There is nothing special about me. Nothing. And guys, understand, for those of you that have watched me for any length of time, for those of you that know me, you know me, there's some people that they know the spirit of who I am. The article says, I even boasted saying, I'm going to use my connections to get Musyani jailed. I never talk like that. You will never find me talking like that to anyone or anywhere, because I don't have those connections. And number two, I don't boast like that. It's not in my DNA. We were taught better than that. That Mr. and Mrs. Mwewa, Mr. and Mrs. Mwewa, they taught us better than that. We don't talk like that. We don't use such language. We're not kadas who talk on the street. No, man, that's not me. And I challenge anyone. And I was saying to this online news channel that posted this false article, I said, you know, if you get sued, you will be at great pains to explain which magistrate said the words that you said. You will be at great pains to explain, because, you know, the article was saying, no, the magistrate Singo Simon Mwewa saying, you Mwewa, you don't write those articles. If you are sued, when you are sued, you will be asked which magistrate said that. And when you mention the magistrate's name and she's summoned, you think she will say what you are claiming. She didn't say that. The magistrate never said that. So don't create lies. Don't create lies. Just say the facts as they are. Okay? Just say them as they are. So, Chilufya Tayali, let me explain to you why he supports Musyani. The reason is very simple. Some of you don't remember that, and the only way you can understand why Chilufya Tayali supports Musyani is that you have to look at Chilufya Tayali's history. Chilufya was married to a Rwandese woman. His first wife was a lady from Rwanda. She divorced him. And in her divorce petition, or in her divorce documents, this is public knowledge. Now, guys, before I divulge this, and of course I've shared this before, but I must point out, and it's very important to stress, that court documents are public documents. Can we start from there? Okay, just tell me in the comments if you agree with that. And I'm going somewhere with this, okay? I'm going somewhere with this. There's a reason I'm bringing this up. Court documents are public documents. There's nothing private about what happens in court. So before you start saying, why are you divulging that? You must understand, court documents are public documents. So because they're public documents, they are open to public scrutiny and comment. So here it is. Chilufya Tayali's first wife was a Rwandese. She was from Rwanda. And one of the reasons she divorced him was because Chilufya Tayali was having some type of sick sexual relationship with his niece, a young girl that he was taking care of. In that court document, it's a public document. It's all over social media. Everything I'm saying is not a secret. It's true. She said it. Every time when his first wife would walk into a room, she would find him bathing with her. She would find him in a compromising position with her. And she couldn't stomach it anymore. Among other things, she felt that she was witnessing an incestuous relationship between Tayali and his niece. Not only that, when she indicated to him that she wanted to divorce him, Tayali attempted to commit suicide. He attempted to unalive himself. He attempted to drink some type of poison because she had said to him, look, I can't be in this relationship. I can't do this anymore. Okay. So the reason Chilufya Tayali supports Musyani is because of that old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Tayali was conducting some type of incestuous sexual relationship with his little niece. So a person like that, of course, will support another person who plans to gang rape and to kidnap a child. Of course, he would support a person like that, because birds of a feather flock together. That's the only reason Chilufya Tayali supports Musyani. And if you really examine it, when you look at it very closely, Chilufya Tayali is the only notable social media presence that supports Musyani in the way that he does. He's the only one. The only other people that support Musyani are some of you guys, some of chauvinists and people that think that Musyani is a hero, when Musyani is just an online thug. That's all he is. I mean, any man that says he's going to gang rape you or gang rape your wife. And one of the reasons why some of you young men support Musyani is because you're not married and that no one has threatened to gang rape your wife. Is because you don't have any children. No one has threatened to kidnap your child. So of course you're going to support Musyani, because you are the Word of God says you are not touched with the feeling of that infirmity. You are not aware of that because you don't know. But the chikali pomwine muchibemba tulandati chikali pomwine. Are you hearing that? Do you understand that? Do you understand the logic behind that? Tell me in the Atinis Nindio. Don't say that. Don't say that. That's sick. Okay? All right. Alrighty. So that's the reason. So that's the backstory. So anytime you hear Chilufya Tayali standing on the highest mountaintop supporting Musyani, it's because Tayali for a long time was sexually abusing his niece. The reason, and that's the reason his first wife divorced him. That information is not from me. It's in the court document. Do you understand that? It's in the court document. It's there for anyone to see. All right. Thought I'd share that with you. What time is it? It's after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't even had lunch. Have I mentioned to you guys that I'm intermittently fasting? Do you guys know this? I'm going to go in there and have something to eat. All right. God bless. Did you guys hear Gene Hackman passed away? Him and his wife? Horrific story. It's amazing. And also, did you know, I didn't know this, did you know that Arsenio Hall used to date Paula Abdul? Did you know this? I just found that out this morning, driving through. I'm looking through my news feed. Arsenio Hall used to date Paula Abdul. If you think that's crazy, do you know Bobby Brown kind of dated Janet Jackson? How the hell did that happen? Goodness. Okay. Talk to you later.